So I asked my Learn Plan Profit group if it would be of value to you guys to be able to see every stock that is in my portfolio. Not just every stock and just talking about them. First off, you guys should know I share my screenshots on Instagram every single day. But actually showing you my position size and talking about the thought process behind it. You guys can let me know in the comment section if you found this to be useful. I would love to make more videos on this. All you have to do is destroy that like button. We had an amazing live trading session today. Also, we had a couple people join us from Instagram. If you guys want to be able to watch me trade live tomorrow and you've never watched me trade live before, my Instagram link is down below. Friendly reminder, I only have one Instagram account. Please message me. I respond to all of my messages. Message me live trading. I want access to tomorrow's live trading. That simple. Message me on Instagram right now. But let's go ahead and break this down. So this might look a little overwhelming. What I suggest for someone that's just getting started to be this diversified, I don't, people say that diversification is key. Sometimes I feel like when you're just getting started, I'm sure a lot of you guys might agree, sometimes it's a little overwhelming when you have too many different stocks that you're invested in. I would say if you're just getting started, pick your top 3 or top 5 stocks. Be selective, be empowered to be selective. Make sure that they meet your criteria. So again, I don't want you to copy me in that aspect. I just wanted to share with you, these are different companies that I kind of really like. And I'm excited to share with you. As you guys can see, this is my current value in each stock. Carvana, I just bought yesterday. I like it, and I want to talk about it. I'm going to break down every single one. So on the 4-hour time frame, I actually want to break it down on the day chart. First off, this is for everyone that's watching this video. First off, congratulations when it comes down to your long-term plays. TQQQ is up nearly 2% on the day. The overall NASDAQ market is in the green. Look at this. We're almost at where we were before this pullback. We're almost making a full recovery. Again, 3 to 4 weeks of consistent red weeks, 1 week of a green week, and look at this. Look, this is why we buy the dip on quality companies. This is why I'm excited to talk about it. One of the things that I need to share with you is the market is very bullish right now, and it might continue to rally. A lot of companies are reporting earnings. We're entering earnings season. So please take that into consideration that if they begin to report earnings, again, this can act as a further positive catalyst for a lot of these different stocks. But again, after the earnings is where we can potentially see a correction. Make sure you take that into consideration. So the first stock that we're going to be talking about is CVNA, Carvana. I'm going to break these down very quickly. I only have a 10% position right now. I guess 11%. I have $11,000 into it. I view Carvana, I like 3 things about it. It's bullish, it's consistent, and it's cheap. I see there to be a lot of upside potential, and I'm just in the very early stages of really buying into this. I see there to be about 20 to 25% potential for ROI based off of previous highs and from where we're at right now. I'm excited to buy more, but I'm trying to stay patient, which is why I have my alerts set here. So that's the breakdown on that one. Next one is Apple. Apple released their new laptop. Everyone was buying Apple for their, themselves and their brother. But yesterday, Apple was previously at 157. It pulled on back to the SMA line. We made a video about Apple, of one of the most valuable companies, if not the most valuable company in the stock market, $2.54 trillion. It found a support and is beginning to indicate signs of recovery. Doesn't it make sense to want to put more money and invest more money into companies that are making you money? Well, that's exactly what I began to do. I only had a $10,000 position and I doubled it, meaning I put another 10%. So I will probably be invested with about $50,000 to $100,000, depending on how quick it goes up. I see there to be potential for a slight little pullback. I want it to validate that EMA line, and then if it does, I'd love to follow up with it. But again, that is my position on Apple. I have about $22,000 into it right now. Roku is the next one. So Roku is one that I would be very, very careful with. I would not encourage this for any of the other, I talked about Carvana, very bullish. I talked about Facebook, Apple, great quality company. Roku's a little bit different. It doesn't have to make a full recovery. It did really, really well during pandemic conditions. As previous highs of 490, it aggressively sold off, found a support, right? And is now beginning to indicate signs of an uptrend, but we're still trading below the moving average. I'm invested in it. It does not mean that you should as well. I would be more selective with Roku versus any of the other ones, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, all the other ones we've talked about. I like the upside potential, which is why I took a position. I have about $20,000 into Roku right now. Twitter. How many of my people are invested in Twitter? Trust me, I last time I spoke about Twitter, people were commenting, well, I would never invest in Twitter. Like they don't, I guess for personal reasons. Again, at the end of the day, if you want to get personal when it comes down to Twitter, so be it. I don't care about Twitter in a personal level, emotional level. I don't care about it. I view it as an opportunity, just like any other trade, right? It's indicating signs of an uptrend. It's approaching a potential resistance level, but it tends to get rejected around $70 a share. I probably won't add much more to my position. If I do, maybe another $10,000 if it breaks above this previous resistance. But I'm going to lock in profits at $7, lock it in, and walk away from there. I don't see anything crazy going on with Twitter. Amazon, I went in from I think $12,000 position because I had 4 shares. I bought at like 3,100 or 3,200, and I bought another 20,000 because it began to indicate signs of an uptrend. A lot of consolidation, a very common resistance level right around 3,500. Amazon is not one that you're going to make a killing on within a very short period of time, but it's very bullish, very consistent, and again, one of the most dominant companies right now in the market. So one of the main reasons that I wanted to throw some money at it when it was at the cheaper levels. Again, buying the deals, selling the highs. PayPal. How many of you guys forgot about PayPal? This is also not something that I would recommend for everyone. It was very bullish, but it's kind of inconsistent right now. Nice little pullback. It's now trading above the EMA and the moving average. I'm going to have to follow up with it because it's at a critical point. At the moving average and the EMA line, if it continues to indicate signs of an uptrend, I have the green light. I can throw more money into it. If it actually ends up getting rejected, then again, this is why we have a lighter position into it. And I only have, but I have $32,000 invested into this one. The next one is Starbucks, SBUX. SBUX, very bullish, very consistent. Trust me, I don't buy Starbucks. My girlfriend does. But I'd love to invest in it. $100 based off of where it used to trade at. 126. It was previously at lows of 109. I thought I would take advantage of it. It's beginning to indicate signs of an uptrend, and guess what? We're at that critical point. So if it continues to trade above the moving average on the 4-hour time frame and the EMA line on the 4-hour time frame, then I'm only going to want to put more money into this. I'd like to double my position size on something like Starbucks just because of the upside potential. I see there to be great upside, and it's very bullish. 10% if I'm in it with $100,000, being able to make $10,000, I love that, right? And I'm already in it right now with 40,000, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, 44,000. So the next one is PTON. I would be very, 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 very careful with PTON. PTON is one that I began to aggressively buy the dip on when it broke below $90 a share. I would not encourage this for any beginner trader. This one's a different type of stock. This one has great upside potential when it comes down to percentage return. And if it were to make a full recovery, almost 90%. But it did very well during pandemic conditions. It's kind of been struggling due to supply chain reasons after the pandemic. So, again, there's no indication of an uptrend. And I'm telling you this as someone that has $52,000 into Peloton and I have another $21,000 here on Webull, $70,000 total. I am telling you this as someone that has $70,000 into Peloton. I would not buy it right now because there is no indication of an uptrend. If it begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, then great. But as of right now, it's trying to establish a support level, and we're still waiting for that overall reversal. Just make sure you take that into consideration. The next one that we're going to be talking about is Facebook. Facebook, Pinterest, and Urban Outfitters. Facebook. So Facebook, I think this was pretty easy to see. Very bullish, very consistent, very oversold based off of the moving average. It is now testing the EMA line. If it breaks above, I'm going to step on the gas like you've never seen it. But if it breaks below or gets rejected back to the moving average, I'll keep my position how it is. Again, I like having my money in areas that make sense, good quality company, and I really like to step on the gas when the direction's in my favor. Let me know what you think about that one. Pinterest. Pinterest is freaking killing it today. Wrong stock. Pinterest. PINS. 4.34%. I think one of the top gainers today out of my entire portfolio. On this one, on Pinterest, I have $110,000 into it. It's hard to see on the day chart. It's easier to see on the 4-hour time frame. We are now trading above the moving average and the EMA line. It's a little bit on the overbought side based off of previous patterns, but it's a step in the right direction. I would not recommend Pinterest for all of you guys. Again, I have $102,000 or $109,000 into Pinterest. I would not recommend it for every beginner trader. It's a different stock. It is not as bullish as a lot of the other blue chip stocks that I talked about, but Why? Like, why would I go into Pinterest so heavily? This is a riskier swing trade, but from when I decided to really step on the gas to where I see the potential to be, 45% potential for ROI, I see Pinterest to be a new form of very creative marketing, especially as we go into the holiday season. I can see them to have a very strong potential Q4. Just my thoughts, which is why I decided to go in so aggressive, and I will only step more on the gas. I'll probably be in it with about 200, 250K if it continues to indicate signs of an uptrend. The last one was doing really, really well and then is now kind of struggling. It's trying to find a support level here. I would not recommend this for everyone. Urban Outfitters, again, based off of previous highs from where we're at right now, 33%. It was doing really, really well during this horizontal pattern, but we are still trading below the moving average. So if it breaks below the EMA, this is one that I'm going to have to manage my risk. I did a lot of my buying on Urban Outfitters when it broke below $29. But it was when it began to indicate signs of an uptrend that I added even more, but now it has that resistance level right around $31. So if it breaks below the EMA once again on the 4-hour time frame, I'm going to have to reduce my position size back to $30,000. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, I have $114,000 into Pinterest, Urban Outfitters. But again, if it doesn't continue to indicate signs of an uptrend, I'm going to have to reduce that position size. Why? Because the direction is simply not in my favor. That is my full breakdown on my current stocks that I'm invested in with my Fidelity portfolio. I want to ask you, what stock do you think I should buy right now that's bullish, consistent, and it's a good deal, offers greater upside than it does downside? Comment that down below. I'd love to learn a little bit more about what you're invested in and why. I want to understand the reason why you see so much value in these stocks. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that it earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And also, again, if you want to tune on into tomorrow's live trading session, message me on Instagram. The link is in the description. It will take you right on over to my Instagram. I respond to all of my messages, and ask me for the live trading link tomorrow at market open. You better set your alarms because it is early, but it's not something that you want to miss. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.